Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. Whippy! Okay, so before we get started here, just wanted to tell you about just the Ground Zero Animation Expo, gzaexpo.com. I'm excited about this. It's going into its third year. It's another animation event, not a comic book convention, just pure animation. We've had CTN for a long time. That one, as you know, is falling down the wayside. Just, I love the people that attend, and all the people that attend are awesome, and that's what makes it special. It's all the behind the scenes stuff that I actually, I'll tell you, I made a video, and it's so, I don't know whether to play it or not for you guys. I just kind of went into maybe another different person on it. You let me know if it's something that you guys want to see, but I don't even want to get into it about it. I just want to share with you this new event. It's what's exciting about it. It's actually going to be, it's a free thing to get into, and people, there's going to be animation people, there's going to be workshops, there's going to be different things, and that's where you pay a little extra money. And again, it's like $10, $15, it's nothing to go to a panel, and you're not paying like $200 for a portfolio review like CTN and all that. Oh, I said it again. Anyway, check it out, gzaexpo.com. That's going to be coming up in, I believe, I won't say it's on my website, silvertunes.com. In the events, you'll see I'm going to be attending. I'll be doing a couple panels there too. All right. So, today I wanted to get into, I've talked about it many times to you guys before, but it's about pricing. And maybe, hopefully, you're not going, oh no, here we go again. But yeah, here we go again. It's just, I think it's an important subject. It's an important subject because it's something that is going to give you the sort of life you want to have as an artist, and help people understand that, yes, you can make a living as an artist, and you don't have to be that poor, starving artist that maybe your parents talk about or discourage you from or get nervous about. As much like mine did. My parents were extremely scared. They supported me, but they weren't happy about my decision necessarily about wanting, they were about being an artist. They weren't artists. They didn't know what it means. What does this mean to be an artist? What does it mean to all of a sudden follow your passion and do this for the rest of your life? What do you mean? You're not going to have a real job? You might not have benefits? How are you going to support a family? How are you going to do all these things? That's a nerve-wracking thing. Listen, I have 2 kids of my own. If I don't know, I know that I'm going to support my kids for everything that they want to do. And that's just because I've gone through it. I know what it's going to take. I know the ups and downs of it. So I have something that I can share with them and encourage them to do. But I get it. Any parent is going to be nervous. All you ever want as a parent is your kids to be successful. That's all we ever want. That's what we want, okay? So what I want to talk to you about pricing is even something I experienced when I was younger. Again, when I got into this game of being an artist, being young, being dumb, being unaware, just like not knowing anything. It was a different time when I was growing up. There was no internet. Where was I going to research things? I remember going to, when I did my little stint in junior college for a year, what was the advice? Go talk to the counselor. The counselor will guide you and know what to do. My counselor didn't know anything. My counselor in high school didn't know anything. They didn't know. They were counselors in high school. What did they know about the art industry and about making money at this? And what did my college counselor even know? I had a life drawing class. There were some art programs, but the counselor didn't know. No one knew anything. There was no place to get advice. And that's why I love this outlet with YouTube and all this, for people who can share their experiences. You can read articles. You got to research these things. But no one knew jack S about anything. They just didn't. And so there was no advice. And so when you're going into it, you go into it blindly. That's what I did. I went into things blindly. I went into things with naivety. I was naive. I didn't know. And I didn't know what to charge. I didn't know how to do. I was trying to recall and think deeply. Was I taken advantage of as a young child, as a young artist? Absolutely, in different ways. I mean, but I always charge people for stuff. That's something that I always remember doing. Whenever someone wanted me to do something, I think it was always the business side. My parents were real estate agents, and they always taught me things just about clients and dealing with people. That I'd hear their conversations. It wasn't directly to me, but I heard how people were. So things resonated. So even if I charged $50, I charged $50, all right? But I wasn't going to do anything for nothing. I mean, it made no sense to me. It's like, why? I'm not going to go work at McDonald's for nothing. Why would I charge them nothing? And that's the bottom line. Would you take any other job for no money? No. So why are you going to do it with your caricatures or everything else? So what I want to talk to you about specifically was more about doing caricatures, because someone had emailed me recently about trying to, can I say something, and I think they're in England, about just to artists about not charging so little and trying to up your rates. And I do want to mention something about this. So when I started doing caricatures, I got hired at the age of 18, just pretty much right outside of high school, my first year of college, junior college, started doing caricatures. That's how I got my foot in the door. I think it's a great journey. I would encourage anyone who is sort of like doubting their own skill set and confused about what they want to do, but they love drawing people and they love drawing cartoons and they want to be illustrators, will get a job doing caricatures. Go work at theme parks, start doing private parties, start doing stuff. What a great way to make a living. And I think it still holds true today. You can still make a good living doing it. But I remember I was working at the theme parks. I was 18 years old, and I was working with some older guys there. They'd been in the business a while. Again, I was a newbie. I knew nothing. I was egotistical. I thought I was a badass. I thought people kept telling me how good I was, and I knew I sucked. But I was still drawing better than them. I kind of knew that I was, but I knew I still sucked, and I knew I still had to improve upon my skill, and I kept working at it all the time. But I kind of thought that I could do anything. I had this no fear aspect, and I can't explain everything why that was, but I was just like, I'm gonna try everything. I'm gonna do everything. I was working all the time. I was drawing all the time with my friends. We were practicing all the time. That's what you gotta be. I think in order to make it in this industry, no matter what, you gotta have that thing. And if it's not there, then you got to do something to get it there. Maybe, I don't know, whatever it is you need to do. I was working with some older guys on there, and I was being asked to do private parties. And at that point, we were using what was called the yellow pages, all right? The white pages, the yellow pages. I don't even know if it still exists anymore. I don't even see them anymore. That was I put ads in there, and that's where it was the directory just to go to find people. So I would research entertainment planners because they were hiring people for parties to do balloons. And speaking of, I tried to go do balloons. I went to a course to learn how to do balloon animals. I was going to do balloon animals at parties. I decided not to. So, this is one of those things where I was going to these people who are hiring. I would send them out my price sheet. Okay, I put together one sheet. It would show my caricatures. I put together how many caricatures I did an hour. I did about 15 caricatures an hour. I was doing black and white caricatures. I'm drawing my caricatures on 8.5 by 11 paper or 11 by 17. I can incorporate your logo into the thing. And anyway, I give this to the planners because now when they have all the clients coming to them and say, hey, we'd like to hire a caricature artist, then they could hire. And I had my prices on there. And at the time, my prices were $75 an hour. Now, for being however many years ago, I'm 45 now. That was when I was 18, however many years ago that was pretty good. But what I realized was it wasn't that good. You could charge more, even back then, that people will pay more. And because what happens is you charge $75, but then the client, the agency that I worked with, they marked it up and charged an extra $50 an hour, right? So now they're charging $125 an hour to the client, and the client's agreeing, $125 an hour, perfect. So keep that in mind, because the reality, when I start doing it for myself, I should have been charging $125 an hour, and I wasn't. I was still charging $75 an hour when I should have been charging $125, because that's what almost the going rate was. So it's important to try to find the going rate. And I remember the older guys that were there that had been doing parties for years. This is how they made their living, yet they were working at SeaWorld doing caricatures just to make an extra buck. And I remember how pissed off they would get at me. They're just like, you are destroying this art market. You're destroying, because you young guy who has talent, and you got these other young kids who are learning, and you guys got talent. And you're destroying this market. You're destroying it for us who have been working in this industry for so damn long, and we're charging $125 and $150 an hour, and you're coming in and charging $75 an hour, and they're hiring you instead of us, and you're destroying it, and you're ruining it for us. And I was cocky back then. I was like, yeah, but I don't know. I don't think I could get any more, and this is what I'm charging. But I was listening. And I realized, man, afterwards I started charging $125 because of what I was listening to. And you know what? The clients were paying. I knew the agencies were charging $125, $150. Then I started to hear about other people charging $150, $175. And I'm like, holy, what the hell, man? You're charging $175? Damn, you can get that? And the answer is yes, you can get that. And slowly I started to build up my rates. And you know what? I was still getting jobs at $150, because they're not going to get, what are they going to get? They started to realize if you're charging less, you're not worth as much, you know? And it was like everyone else is charging that. So let's get on the same boat. Let's get all on the same boat where we're charging $125, $150 an hour. And now the client can decide, may the best man win. It's based on your style, on your level of, you know, ability. Even though there's a lot of caricature artists making a good living out there who really aren't that great, and I'm sorry to offend anyone out there, but they're not that great. They don't get a good likeness, you know, and they draw people, yet people still love it. And the bottom line is, does the client love what you do? Yes, the client loves what I do, and that's what's going to keep getting you that's what's going to keep getting you jobs. And that's the thing to remember, is what's going to get you the jobs is with the animation studios, with illustration clients, with everything else. Do they like what you do? So even if your talent isn't so great, but the client loves working with you, and they're happy with it, that's all that matters. The client's happy. So as long as you're keeping the client happy, it's all good. That's the bottom line, okay? I'm not, you know, there's stuff where it drives me crazy when I see certain stuff and I go, God, that's so bad. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It's not my job to judge them, because the client's happy with it, and that's what got them the job for the first place. It happens in animation. There's certain show styles that people are just, it's not so great, but you know what? The directors and the studios love it, and that's what they go with. So even if you think your stuff is better than that person's stuff, it doesn't matter, because the client is always right. It's a very important lesson to remember. The client is always right. Just make sure that you're doing your best. Whatever your best is, you know you're working on improving, and that's what I was doing. I was always working on trying to improve. I was always working on trying to get better. But the rates, getting back to the rates. So I started charging that and started getting work doing that. And I realized, wow, this is doable. So what I want to say is, don't undercut in this market through animation, through caricatures, through doing parties, through doing anything else, just because you're feeling inferior about your own work, because you feel you're not going to be getting that much work, whatnot. Don't be getting on these stupid sites like Fiverr.com and all this other stuff and charging $5 for a caricature. Are you kidding me? Are you ever going to get any work? Are you ever going to, you may be getting work, but you ever going to make a serious living? I would be concerned if I were your parents too. If you're charging $10 for a caricature, $12 for a caricature, or $5 for a caricature. The bottom line is, band together. Get together, start meeting with other caricature artists, form a caricaturist organization, go to animation organizations, go to groups, discuss money, talk about money in front of your friends. I charge $100 an hour. That's what I charge when I'm working with clients, okay? If I'm doing private parties, doing caricature parties, I'm charging $175 an hour. That's what I charge. If you don't want to pay it, then go to someone else. But that's the reality. The thing is, like a lawyer, like everyone else, you start paying because that's what you become worth. I don't care if you feel like, but I'm just a beginner, I'm just starting out. If you're charging $75 an hour doing caricature gigs, and you're getting gigs all the time, you're worth more than $75 an hour. I'm telling you that right now, because people are hiring you because they like what you do. And you know what? It's okay to start upping your rates. And I know we live in different parts of the world, in different parts of the country. Am I going to charge $175 if I was living in India or something? No, I'm going to charge. You got to, again, just know the sort of average rate. So just be smart about it, but don't undersell yourself. And this is what's going on. You're underselling yourself, and you're destroying what people, you know what it is, what I realized? I was part of destroying an industry in the caricature business world of something that all these forefathers, so to speak, these trailblazers built up, that they built up, and they made it. They're the ones who created the ability to even go to do parties and caricature parties in the beginning. They were the pioneers. And all of a sudden, I'm coming in and I'm destroying what all these people have built. So what I want you to think about when you're undercutting everyone, I want you to think about you're destroying the people, the groundbreakers, the forefathers, the revolutionary people who made it even possible in the first place. The people who set up operations in theme parks, who made that even possible in the first place, that made everyone else realize that this was possible. So you want to think about that. Even though you think that I'm just going to do it, don't be so selfish. Think about the people that were the groundbreakers, that made your job even possible in the first place. Think about all the animation jobs and all the people doing the storyboards and who were making the movies, and the people who made it. That's what you got to think about. Think about those people. Just give a little bit of and I'm not trying to bash anyone here. I'm just trying to say that just put a little, detach yourself a little bit. Think about other people for a little bit, and think about, I know that you want to do this and you want to make a living at it, but you can, and you may struggle just a little bit, but think about the people who made this even possible for you to do this in the first place. And that's what goes on in the animation industry. For all you guys that are going into the animation industry and undercutting everyone else in their rates and everything else and destroying other people's, these older people's careers, so to speak, because now they're not getting any more work because the young people are coming in. And I know it's a sign of the times and all that, but they're totally undercutting, and they're charging, I'll charge you $20 an hour, I'll charge this. You destroy it for everyone. So why not us all band together? Why not just, because you know what? You're going to be old too. You're going to be one of those 50-year-old, 60-year-old artists someday that's going to be out of work. Because because of all these young kids that are coming in and they don't understand how to value themselves, and they're undercutting the market and they're destroying the market for you, and you're going to be there, and it's going to come and it's going to bite you in the ass. So why not just think about, you know what, I can be the change. You know what, I can be the change too. I can start to help what this industry is. I can start to be a part and make this industry what it is, and get people on the same length and people charging the same amount of money. And this is why we need to have this open discussion, and we need to discuss what it is we're charging, what people are getting. I mentioned it before, but on the animation website, which is the Animation Guild, Local 839, I think it might be animationguild.org. Don't quote me, do the research. Look at a website, see if you can track down what I've just told you. But you go to the menu bar on the right-hand side, and it shows you dig around, and you'll find the wages of what people are earning in the animation industry on an average. And that'll give you just something to break down hourly if you need to, so that you have an average of what you're working on. But don't destroy the industry just by undercutting because you want to make that buck right now. Don't do that. I'm telling you, it's going to catch up and you're going to be hurting for it. Now, the better you get, the more skill set you get, the more in demand you get, well, the more you can charge your rates even higher, and you become that artist that's in demand because you become that person that hey, this is what you charge, but it's worth it. This is what the people are going to be getting. They're getting value. They know they're working with a professional. And don't undersell yourself. Don't just, people are hungry and starving for students. Why? They're just like, yeah, let me find that student. I got him now. I can get him for $10 because they're just a student. They're worthless. They're pieces of shit because they're just a student. They're just getting their start. They're nothing. I'm telling you, as evil as it sounds, people just want to get in there for that reason because they know they can take advantage of you in some sort of way. As horrible as it sounds, let's talk reality here. Let's just be open about it and just talk about why are they going for you, okay? And there's so many talented students out there. So many talented students. My God, the amount of talent that I see. So stop undervaluing yourself just because you're a student. Don't write that you're a student, for crying out loud, on your website. If you're writing that you're a student on your website, I want you to go to your website after this art talk and remove it. And stop belittling yourself or just treating yourself that you're worthless, because everyone needs an artist for something. We provide value, we provide talent, we provide vision, we provide everything. We artists make up what this world is today. We provide all the entertainment that is in this world today, all the movies, all the animations, all the clothing design, all the architectural design, everything. We make this world. We are the creators of this world. And just because these other people who don't have a lick of talent in their body treat us like piss ants and everything else, I don't even know what a piss ant is, but they treat us like we're just a bunch of nothing. And they don't value us, and even the people we love the most sometimes don't value us because they feel this, because everyone else has told them that artists and musicians and actors and ballet people and dancers and everyone else is nothing. Yet we give everyone joy in this life. We're the providers of everyone else's joy, between the own joy they go on and they make themselves, and they want to go hiking and skydiving and doing whatever else they want to do. But the reality is, where do people find enjoyment and value? In theater, in music, in the advertising world, in the graphic design world, and all the magazines and all the news. Everything is the artist that we've just been by these other people just crushed, just told that we're not really worthy, we're not really capable of doing stuff. Who are we? Yet we make up their worlds and their lives and give them the vision, give them the computer screens to watch, give them the apps to play, give them the games to play, give them the words of friends or anything else to play, and I don't care, whatever it else is. We provide them everything. So when we start believing it, when we truly understand it, even though we're learning and we're growing and we're getting into this world and trying to figure this all out, we're the doers of this. So stop devaluing yourself. Stop undercharging so much. You're gonna lose jobs. You're gonna lose jobs. I've lost, hundreds of jobs I've lost because of what I charge. And whatever, I don't care. If you value the work and you respect it, you're gonna get people contacting you all the time, and they're gonna ask you how much you charge. You know what? Flip it around, people. Flip it around on these people. When they're asking you how much you are, ask them back like a wedding planner does. What's your budget? You know how many times I go to places to do things and I'm asked all the time? Where was I just the other day? My God, God, it was, shoot, I can't even remember. I was at about to do something the other day, and the guy asked me, well, what's my budget, on it? So I had to give him a budget, and all of a sudden it's gonna come back to me, and I'll figure it out. And I'm just I can't drag this on right now because I'm not sure where it's gonna come. But anyway, he asked me, well, what is my budget? Well, what do I want to spend on that? And then I realized that, wow, he's throwing that back at me. This is what people do. Because now I'm being thrown into, well, I only have about this much to spend. Oh, you got that much about to spend? Okay, well then if you got about that much, this is what I can provide for you based on that. And that's what, I went to go, this was another situation. I have a Jeep, and I went to go get my Jeep. I wanted to get it lifted. I wanted to do some stuff to it at the time. And the guys are, well, you know, what's your budget? What do you want to spend? What are you looking to do? And then when you tell them what you want to do, then you figure it out. But that's the reality. What's your budget? What's your budget? Well, I only have, you know, $300. Well, you know, that's only going to allow me for about, you know, 3 hours of my time. What can I provide for you? I can only do this and this. I'm not going to give you everything plus the kitchen sink for $300. Let me tell you, this is what we got to start thinking about. We got to start basing it and asking people what their budget is, so that we know, so that we can tell them, I'm not going to give you your whole show on a platter for $200 for nothing. Okay, now you're going to be working in situations where, again, you're starting out, you want to, you know, again, make sure you research the people, for crying out loud. Make sure you know who these people are. If you know who these people are, then a whole different deal can be related. But if you don't know who these people are and they got no clout and they come out of the blue from LinkedIn or some other social media thing that you posted and you've never heard of them, research them. I did that recently, found out by researching a company how horrible they were and all these bad markups, so I never did any work with them. This is the thing, is just make sure you're going to do things and undercut certain things, but make sure you let people know what your real rate is. You can write it on your invoice or anything. Let them know that you are undercharging and your real rate is whatever it is, this much an hour, but you're giving it to them for this much an hour, but this is your usual rate, and you're doing it because whatever reason, and maybe they really do have constraints, and they're just like, dude, I only got $1,000, man, that's all I can do. Well, this is what I'm willing to give you for $1,000, but usually it'll be this much more, just so that you know. I want to be upfront with you. I do feel it's a little less, okay? But don't undervalue yourself. Don't undervalue this market. It's vital, and for you caricature artists out there, make sure you up your game. Start upping up your prices a little bit. It's 2018 right now. We'll be in 2019 soon. Start upping those rates. Let people know this is what it is. Even if it's $10 an hour more, $20 an hour more, trust me, you're going to get it. So don't do that too. Don't destroy the industry. Don't destroy the legacy, what other people, all your people that have come before you and given you the job. And that's what you got to remember. These people were the trailblazers that gave you the job. You have your job now because of them. So think about that, all right? Make it a great week. silvertunes.com/events. Check out the upcoming, I've just updated my website just last week of all the upcoming shows I'm doing. I'll be at WonderCon this coming week, so I'll see you guys at WonderCon. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to show up and go to the Ground Zero Animation Expo. CTN, you're moving out. You're moving down. Again, love the people, guys, all you guys exhibiting and everything. Come on over at gzaexpo.com. All right. Have a good one. Talk to you guys next week. Take care.